Okay, so last time we were talking about this Bluetooth connectivity and the two units that I showed in that video. This is part 2 now. I took the units apart, just opened the cases and took them apart, and see if we get some lighting here. Here's the receiver, and here's the transmitter. And what I did is I've tapped off the left and right audio inputs, the power line for the 5-volt circuits. The same here underneath. I've got the audio lines coming out. The power is temporarily through this jack, but I'm going to go right to the PC board. And we're all lashed up here through for a signal coming into the transmitter here. We're coming out of this Watkins Johnson, the audio output side of that, and coming into the transmitter here, left and right together, shorted together. I've got the two power lines paralleled, the 5-volt input for the receiver and the transmitter. It's very important to use a clean power supply. These little USB 5-volt, they're switchers. They're not very good. Here's another one here. A cute little device, but for RF and audio, any forms of communication, you really want to stay away from them. So I'm using a good regulated supply over here. So anyhow, let's go ahead and turn it on. And the mixer, we're coming into the mixer here. So again, we're coming out of the receiver, we're going through the transmitter, coming out of the receiver, wireless, and into the mixer, and hopefully we'll get some audio. Let's turn this thing on. I'll put about 5 volts into it. And we're drawing about a 1/4 amp or so. Well, let me get, that's not so dynamic. Let's show you what goes on when we power up over here. Watch the receiver on the right and the transmitter on the left. You can see the receiver is flashing, the transmitter is searching to pair off with it. The dancing lights. And there we go. We stopped flashing here. And now we get a flash every 2 seconds here. So, there we are. Everything's connected. It's working. I can get about 30 or 40 feet away in the clear, through the house about 20 feet, 25 feet, before I start to get in the noisy. Let me turn the audio down. Get a little noisy RF coming in. Even the Bluetooth, it gets noisy before it goes into dropout. So you know where you stand. So let's see, I'll get a little better view of this. There's the receiver, all lashed up. Input, output, and the little transmitter, which is kind of a bugger when you're working on these little surface mount devices. It's kind of a pain. Anyhow, that's part 2, and we'll have part 3 pretty soon. Or actually, maybe I'll just tack it onto the end of this. Thanks for looking. It's N1KPR on YouTube and bobsamerica.com on internet. Thank you. Alright, we're back. I decided to attach this to the part 2 instead of making a part 3. So here's a graphics program where how this panel is going to look with those 2 units I just showed you. Up here we have the receiver, and here's the transmitter. These are 19-inch rack mount, 1 RU high, 1 3/4 inches high, and 19 inches long. And we've provided inputs in both the transmitter and the receiver for additional auxiliary feeds for microphone and auxiliary line audio. So you could do the iPod and whatever other forms of music input signals you want. And let me see, let's go in a little closer here. we'll slide this over. Here we go. Alright, these are the two inputs sections. Up here the receiver, here the transmitter, and as you can see we've got provisions for 4 inputs. This input on the receiver, the receiver is going to be from the Bluetooth module outside. So if you're using an external one, you know you have these dongles and things that you can plug into your laptop or a PC. You can feed it from there. And these they're kind of like twins, the transmitter and the receiver. Let's go over a little more. We've got audio equalizing, low and high pass for both. Line out level, so that you can go to a digital recorder, or if you want transmitter. I guess in the studio you could actually just go to the STL, the studio link, and do it. Anyhow, 2 VU meters will go here. I'll come over a little more. This is kind of interesting. The audio stats or statistics of the audio signal. We have peak +12 +6 and average, which is 0 dB. That's line level input, 600 ohms, be about 0.2 volts for 1 milliwatt. -6, where you're getting down into the low area. And then warning is a silence alarm like they have in broadcast stations. If something goes silent for more than 3 or 5 seconds, you get the alarm. We do the same thing on the transmitter, receiver, both. Drive level, which is audio to the actual transmitter. And down here on the receiver, drive level to the power amp. Now we come to the transmitter. What's the actual RF thing doing? We can show if the thing's connected. When it's pairing up, you saw the little red, green, and blue LEDs before. That will be these. When audio is present or not, same as over here, but this is in the RF chain. And if we're actually consuming power. And I think we'll set that up for about, I don't know, 90 mils or 1/8 of an amp or so we know the transmitter's on. Should there be a fault, we'll see it there. A meter for RF, and down here a meter for the audio power amp. This would be actually milliwatts out of RF, and this one would be audio watts out. And as we get toward the end here, the power amp control for monitoring, or if you want to drive another system, a bigger or hi-fi home entertainment system, you could do that, which what we'll probably be doing here. Average peak and clipping of the audio signal. Same down here, average peak and clipping of the signal. Of course, you don't want to clip into the transmitter, and you don't want to be clipping into your audio system. And then the usual power thing. Here's BTT, is Bluetooth transmitter, and BTR, Bluetooth receiver. If you're working in the field, you can select an internal speaker in either one, so you can monitor what's going on in the transmitter. You can monitor what you're receiving, and of course the power. So let's see if we can get that down a little bit here. That's basically what they look like. You can't see the details here, but that's what the 2 panels look like. I think this is in the tradition of the Watkins-Johnson layout artwork, and I think that'll look very nice sitting in a small rack. One here in the basement transmitting signals up to the rest of the house. But we'll see how that goes. Again, this is Bob, N1KPR. My YouTube channel is N1KPR. We got a lot of other interesting and crazy and obsessive compulsive stuff there. And my website is bobsamerica.com, and hope to see you soon. Thanks for looking.